Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's been 3 long weeks here at SRA.
Welcome back to the best racing in North America, home of the SRA GT3 Team Series. 60 minutes of action-packed door-to-door racing, 6 divisions, 6 different championships on the line. Let's get ready for some action tonight.
An incident on turn. We have Boardman at a yellow. Looks like he's dropping down positions there. The chicane has a bunch of cars are coming through.
Byron's going to take a dive in the Lexus.
Johnson looking to go down the inside of Maxwell.
And we're off and away for SRA.
Welcome, everyone, to the bowling alley, or better known as Watkins Glen here at SRA Division 1. It's round 3 today. Joining me on the desk, as always, Josh Damiani. How are you doing?
Oh, great. Another awesome Tuesday evening to sit in the booth and watch some wonderful Division 1 racing. And this wet Watkins Glen is proving to be a troublesome track for all cars.
It is. I did forget to mention, it is in the wet. We do have a chance at the dry race, but our kind of formation with that so far, from what I've seen, is 0 attempt at dry today. So it is going to be a fun one as cars are lining up here at the end. And while they do that, throw up the track map for you. Now, we are in the wet, so most of the overtaking zones don't really apply tonight. But as you can see, some very tricky and possibly good overtaking zones. Maybe turn 1 into the bus stop chicane could be good areas. But the real killer for everyone tonight is turn 2 and 3, the uphill chicane. Josh, you want to fill us in on why that is?
Yeah, trying to go up that hill when you're in the spray of another car, not only is it very difficult to try and pinpoint where that inner apex curb is, because if you happen to touch it, it will throw your car off the track. But it's also kind of sketchy when you get into that dirty air of another car in front of you, mixed with the aquaplaning of all that water being on track. There's almost no grip. So almost forces you into lifting when you don't want to, and if you're not prepared, it spells doom.
Mm-hmm. And that Sector 1 is pretty much where all the action is going to be happening. For the most part, Sectors 2 and 3 are going to be calm, maybe aside from turn 8 at possible terrible exit at turn 7.
Yeah, do keep an eye on turn 7 as well, especially as the tires start to wear. Something we noticed in the practice races is that a dry line does form relatively early on this track, and I feel like that braking zone is going to be one of the parts where we see who's got tires and who doesn't.
It's going to be a pretty fun race, I say so myself. Speaking of race, we're doing the qualifying for the race right now. Out on track are our silver drivers. And if you're new here, I'll just run you through it real quick. We have qualifying before our race, 20 minutes, 10 drivers allotted to our silver and gold drivers. Silver drivers will go out first for the first 10 minutes. Gold drivers will come out second. And if you don't know who's silver and who's gold, may I direct your attention to the left side of the screen. Anyone with a silver number plate is a silver driver. Anyone with a white number plate is a gold driver.
That is right, and this being round number 3, we've had a few people shake from gold to silver, silver to gold, and even from Division 2 Division. I don't think we've had any new people join us here in Division 1, but definitely a few people move from silver to gold. So as we go through this race, there'll definitely be some that we point out as we notice them along the way.
With the likes of Matt Lehman in the McLaren who won the race last week, getting moved to gold for his time today.
Definitely deserved after the performances he put on in those first 2 races.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of performance, Fazli Majid will be the first one to perform for the silver drivers right now, given that he won't catch up to the back of the pack here. Does seem to be on a pretty hot heater, and the track is just filling up non-stop. Also, another strategy to think about is you cannot overtake in qualifying. So how big of a gap do you need to leave, especially when the track is wet and that dry line hasn't really formed in yet?
Yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag. You want to be as close as you can in the sense that you're not going to be falling back into somebody if you make a mistake, but you don't want to be too close because even though you're obviously not going to get too close for an overtake, but the spirit. Sorry, just reading something. As the I thought it was some critical information about the race, but it's just blabber jabber. The spray from the drivers in front of you can make it very difficult to sight where you want to go, and can even be distracting to some.
Gonna be even worse in the race. Vasily Majid gonna set our first starting time. It's pretty fast time too, a 50.9. Doesn't look like the track is too wet, and it's actually gonna get lighter for the gold drivers. Dry line already starting to form though, so look for these drivers to actually start really improving here.
Yeah, and honestly, I noticed that dry line pretty early on in some of the corners. Looking down the main straight in turn 1, it looks like this was the free practice session from earlier with how much of a line there actually is. So I'm excited to see what the gold drivers will do, but I think something in the 50s or the low 50s should fare well for these silver drivers as Sam Reck and Dylan Stallworth take their steps to the top of the provisional board here.
At 1200 separate us from provisional pole right now. Stallworth to Wreck. Vasily Majid is going to be making up his time, and on screen right now is Jeffrey Bray, who is about 0.6 up on their time on track for a provisional pole currently.
Yeah, in the picture-in-picture, we've got Dan Cran currently up just over 0.5 on his time. Not really gonna commentators curse him with the on pace for pole here, but steadily improving across this lap should come home with a nice improvement. I think this session, as it's been for the other practices here, is going to be a bit of who's on track last.
It will be, especially who can keep it on this dry line. We saw Bray getting off dry line a little bit in that very wide right-hand turn, the toe of the boot, as people would call it, and actually cost them about 1/10 worth of time. So just getting out there and barely touching it could ruin your lap here, but it looks like he's still on for a pretty good screamer.
As both of these drivers coming into the last corner here, they're going to come in one after the other. Dan Cran comes home with a 51.2, bringing him up to 9th place. And Mr. Bray pops up to pole with a 50.467, so
And immediately
that
gets
very
robbed from
quickly gets
Stallworth.
swooped away.
0.3 is the gap now. Stallworth had an absolute burner of a time. Bray's already making up their time. And I think that's going to be name of the game the entire time through.
Plaza's coming around here in Sector 3, up 9/10. Kelvin Lau just crosses the line, up 9/10 to go up to 2nd place. So, yeah, like you said, just constant improvement, and who's going to be the last to improve the most?
Voigt currently improving the most within the top 10, about 0.3 up now on his time, has about half the track left to go. So plenty more room for improvement. Just has to keep it online. As I say that, he drops a 10th down. Sorry, Luke.
It's Grant Cleansing in the picture-in-picture comes home in 10th place. Made up, I believe it was 0.6 on that lap, so still some pretty sizable chunks. Some of the Dalters starting to peter out, 1-2 couple hundredths, but see how far these drivers have to push. I mean, I haven't been doing too much lapping, but I don't think I've seen a 49 in a light, wet condition.
No, and it doesn't look like we're going to get one, at least on this lap. As I'm also seeing people kind of go into the pits here, about whether their tires are getting a little bit too inflated right away or if their fuel is low.
Who's going to be the spicy individual to put on slicks?
I think you wouldn't be able to handle it. Especially the second you get off that dry line, it's game over.
Agreed. But with what these D1 drivers are capable of some nights, who knows, man?
That is true. Bray gonna jump up back to P2, take it back from Calvin Lau with a 50.3. Stallworth just started his brand new lap and is improving a little bit. Could he possibly get in the 49s? Needs a 1/10 and 1300ths of a second to get it.
Picture in picture, hopping on with Snell Train here, currently up 9/10 coming out of the last corner, and now up over a second. Gonna bring him up a pretty sizable chunk.
It goes P2.
Up to 10th place.
Not bad at all. From P1 to P10 is all within a 7/10 right now. Pretty close. Anyone can get it. Plaza's actually on time to overtake Stallworth if Stallworth has an absolute terrible lap. Currently still looks to be improving. Still has the shoe to go.
Yeah, and I'm just looking down at the bottom half of our qualifying board. With the rate at which those drivers are improving, we might have all of the silver drivers inside just over a second.
And that's when it gets really spicy.
Exactly.
Stallworth trying to put something together in this last sector. Doesn't look to be having it. Actually losing 2/10 in that turn. So now it's all up to Plaza to kind of gain their time, but it looks like they're having a rough time to get at just a 10th out of it. Stallworth will pull over and return to the pits. Same number 49. Plaza doesn't look to be improving at all. We'll actually need to make up 2/10 in this final sector just to get P1. Doesn't look to be doing too well in that corner. I think it's game over for Plaza. As silver qualifying will end just about now. Now the gold drivers will be released, so Rec will be our last silver driver to set a valid lap. We are on board with Nate Speck, who just started their lap. Can they improve in the McLaren? Not a terribly good car in the wet, but looks to be doing pretty nice here in the top 5.
A little bit of a sneaky drive right now. Michael Griffith in the picture currently up over 9/10 on his lap and is 9/10 off of pole, coming into the last corner at 9.5.
He was one of the ones that pitted as well, so it might take new tires, less fuel. Let's see what he can do.
Up to a second.
Hey,
A 150.0.
Whew.
What a lap from Griffith at the last second there.
10/100ths off of a 49.
Nobody is on pace to catch that right now.
No, there's a couple people in place just to move up a few positions, such as Nate Speck here in your main screen, trying to put something together. Bray's trying to put something together, not going to be able to do it. And we'll pull off to the side. We'll stick P5 for now. Nate Speck trying to get all of his might there, jump up 2 positions here with a 10th.
And Zach Martin about to cross the line in the picture, coming up 5/10 on his lap, trying to introduce himself to the top 5. P8.
It's a good drift,
Oh, and
Nate.
a bounce off the wall.
It's a good drift in the last turn. Nate was up 2/10, but that's not the fastest way around the track.
And that last driver in the group, Sam Reck.
Round us out.
Welcome to P7.
P7. So Griffith, Stallworth, Plaza, Majid, and Braze, your top 5 for silvers. On board with Mercer, who will be our first gold driver to take Watkins in the wet. And the rain has calmed down since we started. Let's see how that plays into effect for our gold drivers, especially now that the dry line is already established.
Yeah, it should be a little bit easier for these drivers to push themselves up to the top of the board off the start. In the pip, we're actually riding on board with Alex Chilcutt returning after taking last week off. It's always a shame to have to force yourself into a drop week, only having the one, but can't really get lower than 0 points.
I mean, it was a valid drop week for Spa.
I mean, Spano Moss agreed, but if I had to pick between Spa and Wet Watkins, I'll pick Spa every time.
Yes. I'm the same way. I adore this track, especially in the dry. Dry, it's very fun, very flowy. In the wet, it kind of adds a little bit of spice to it.
It's still a very fun track, but it's very razor's edge.
Yeah.
You need to push the car to get it to grip up on the surface, but you push it ever so slightly too much and it runs away from you.
Don't hit that wet line on the outside, or else it's game over. So coming around track will be the first one to settle out. Let's see where he goes. It looks like car number 213 behind him a little bit. Mercer will go P2 right off the bat, only 1700ths away from Griffith in P1. His gold driver is already finding the pace.
Yeah, Nixon, Menning, Neville, all inside the top 25 right now. Droma comes in 22nd, Chilcutt in 16th. So, I mean, definitely much faster starting point for these gold drivers, but I don't know. What do you think the fastest gold driver is going to do tonight?
We're definitely gonna. I feel like we're gonna get into the 49s, no doubt about it. Once people.
How low?
See, that's the thing. I don't know. I feel like 49 is like pushing it in the wet. I want to say I'll call 49.7. I don't think they're gonna improve by too much, but 3/10 sounds like a decent amount from the silvers.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Like you said, 49 is pretty fast for the wet, and it's not out of the ordinary to see a silver driver once in a while be up at the top of the qualifying board. Anybody can have good one lap pace. Matt Lehman as well. Yep, great example. But yeah, I don't know. I got faith in a 49.5.
People in chat are telling us low 49s. That's absurd. I don't know if we're gonna get that.
All right, 47.6. Let's go.
Oh,
come on, Chilcutt. Pull it out.
Mercer not gonna end up going faster. We'll hop on board Marquez. 4/10 up on their time currently.
Yeah, looks to be the first one on pace for a 49.
Currently, but we will caster curse this, and they will absolutely lose time here in the final sector.
That's just the way she goes, bud.
Nixon looks like they jumped up to P12. Right in the corner of my eye there. More room for them to play. You know, let's all calm down in the chat. We haven't hit the race yet, so it could still be a dry race. So, not hold our breath for too long. Marquez across the line, just barely will get. Oh, he dropped off at the end. Gets P3.
Damn.
Identical time to Mercer.
Matt Lehman currently up 3/10 coming into the last corner. Good exit. Brings him up to P22. Currently 33 drivers are split by 1 second. So it's an absolute brawl to try and find real estate on this leaderboard.
It's there. It's all over the place. We can find it. Mercer is trying to find it here. Improving just a little bit will put him on pole. But everyone definitely has the time. No scheduled rain increase for the rest of the session, so we'll stay like this. And even when the rain is lighter, it seems like the silver drivers are up here. We have more silvers in the top 10 than gold currently.
Yeah, it's I thought golds would have snuck their way all the way up to the top there and just like split people up. Yeah, 49.9 for Mercer.
We'll take provisional pole for the time being. Really the only competition currently that we have in sight. Marquez. They will start their next flying lap soon. Doesn't look like they will be improving by much at all this lap. Olsevich is up a 10.5 currently.
It's a shame. Matt Lehman was up 4/10 earlier in this lap. Had an absolute charge to the start of this lap and wanted to stay on board, but It's just slowly lost some of that time throughout Sector 2 and Sector 3.
We'll pull off. Olsevich will take P5, because I believe that will be the end of Marquez's qualifying. Don't believe there's enough time to go out and around for an out lap here.
No, minute 50 or minute 44 left here in qualifying, so definitely not enough time to get around.
No one really improving anywhere. Menning, I believe that's in your picture-in-picture window, is improving a little bit.
Yeah, hopped on board with Mr. Sir here, jumped up 0.3 on his lap time, and climbing.
He's one to lay it down.
And Castor cursed that all out of his system as he's now back down towards the neutral mark.
Well, it was a good effort. Good job,
I'm
Josh.
sorry, buddy.
You got one.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We still have about an hour left. As Menning taking it to the very edge, might have actually compromised his lap a little bit, but still will improve just by a bit. We'll be able to improve compared to Nate Speck, who put exact same times. We'll launch him in the P8, and that's what just improving by 0.04 can do for you.
Wow. Yeah, that's that split. I mean, a 50.202 is 6th place, and a 50.292 is 12th place.
Is absolutely
wow. It's so cool to see this.
Basin comes up into the top 10 now, marking their spot. We'll pull over. That'll be the end of their qualifying. So P10 for now. One else really improving. Olsevich just starting their lap, just improving by a little bit. And qualifying will be over. So anyone that crosses the line now, that is their last lap of the session. No one really improving. A lot of people going to the pits here. Marquez going to the pits. Mercer just trying to squeeze out any little bit of time that he has of his lap, but it doesn't look like he's squeezing much out. The 10th, Kosevich trying to catch up their time, actually drifting the car around the bus stop chicane, compromising his line, and will go down to 10th.
It seems to be the only driver improving is Alex Chilcutt. Currently up 0.4 on his lap time.
Everyone else has pretty much pit. Nixon trying to eke out anything. Just an improvement of 500ths will actually send them up a position. And will invalidate their last lap. We'll have to pull over, let everyone else by, and return to pits. Menning going to do the same, just return to pits. Didn't really get a good lap. Neville didn't get a good lap either. We'll sit there in P9. He said Alex Chilcutt, the only one improved, rounding out the final corner.
Yeah, and actually loses a bunch of time coming into that in and out of that corner.
E14 though, the big jump just for 2/10.
And I think he lost 0.2. What a qualifying session. 1.6 seconds splits all qualifying drivers.
Top 30 all within 9/10 of each other. Absolutely insane close battle here. Just within qualifying, Mercer will actually lead us off this race. And that is a very wet track.
Yeah, that's just gonna go out here and inspect.
Yep, get weatherman.
Yes. That's a lot of rain.
Yes, wet.
And just in case you're wondering, it is wet on the other side of the track as well. This is coming up turns 2 and turns 3. Like, that's what we mean when we say standing water.
It is a sketchy line to get right. And if you get it wrong and you go off of the line, it's game over. You're sliding, you're going to have a hard time, you're off throttle, and you're not going to keep up that speed down the stretch. So it's going to be a very rough time for you. Well, yep,
it's going to be interesting to see the spray coming down towards the bus stop, even on the formation lap.
So we'll get a little glimpse of the wet spray in the formation. Josh doing his flyover in the picture-in-picture window. Great camera work.
I mean, even though it's raining, it's still a pretty nice day out here for some racing.
Of course, of course. We don't back out of wet races here.
Never, never.
Mm-mm.
So who's your hot pick for silver and gold?
I was just about to ask you.
Beat you to it.
For gold, I might have to stick. According, he doesn't have any issues today with people around him. I might have to stick Mercer here. He looked pretty hot through qualifying. Didn't look too unstable or anything. So if you can transition that into race, perfect for the entire race for gold. For silver, I might go Stallworth. Feel like that Ferrari of his is going to outbeat the Porsche in race conditions in the wet. Could just be me, though. How about your thoughts?
Now, I haven't seen much of Mr. Mercer's race pace, so I'm not too sure.
Okay.
But the driver in P3, Marquez, was showing some absolutely blistering pace in these sort of conditions in Monday night's practice race.
Mhm.
And judging by the weather widget, we have no change over the first 30 minutes. So we're going to see this condition, and I think he's going to rocket himself up towards the top of this leaderboard. But as for my silver pick, just because I can't pick the same person as you, I'm going to put my money on Mr. Griffith. I want to see a Porsche kick some butt.
Okay, that's fair enough. And while drivers go around, try to warm up their tires, create that dry line, and their brakes, let's take a look at the standings. Right here, team standings starting off. Vroom car. Oh, here we go again. Vroom Car Drive is in P1. Champion Motorsports McLemmons will be P2. Drive Car Vroom will be P3. SOP Esports Racing will be P4. And 949 Racing will round out the top 5. Still anyone to play for it. Very small gap in points. One race could see P13 even, or sorry, P12 come right up to the top. So,
And before we transition there, just looking at this board, Team 1, Lamborghini, Team 2, McLaren, Team 3, Aston Martin, Team 4, Porsche, Team 5, Ferrari, all different cars. That's really cool.
We love to see it. And we'll actually hope it's the same over here for our drivers. So rounding out, Matt Lehman and the McLaren will actually be on P1 for the day, but P23 in qualifying. Peter O'Brien will be P2, Jeremy Mercer P3, Fimbris Casas P4, and Eric Neville will round out the top 5. AMR, Porsche, Lambo, McLaren. Surprised there's no Ferraris up there and the back half of the field for you, just to give them some love and affection. Burn you over the Merc. We actually have one. We have one Merc on field today, even though I said last week we didn't have any Mercs. I lied. We have Dupuis.
Zach Dupuis. And I believe Zach is actually correcting my earlier comment, I believe Zach actually came up from Division 2.
Yes.
So
he is in a Merc.
Welcome and good luck.
Yep. P37 for you tonight. I'm kind of upset at Lehman. If Lehman was higher on the leaderboards, he would have been my top pick here for the night. But like you were saying earlier, the McLaren might not be the best wet car to take.
I mean, it was 1.8, but the season that I did drive the McLaren, the wet races were probably my least enjoyed moments behind a sim rig.
I mean, it is fair. That season for me was my worst season of all, and kind of didn't feel like racing from time to time, being in a Porsche 911.
Can I comment on these matte red Audis of Brooker Quigg and Patrick Rust? Because those look stellar.
They're very simplistic, I will say.
Like it stands out in any condition. And yeah, it's simplistic, but looks real good.
No branding on there. You see an SRA tag?
Hold on.
We might have to add the ballast.
Inspector Seb on the case. Where's the SRA badge?
Very hard to see. We'll have to check later on and see. One might have to add a ballast to them at the end of the race, but drivers are lining up too wide, getting ready to go into the front stretch. I don't see an SRA tag.
There is no SRA tag on that car. We're gonna have to apply ballast here. Talk to the stewards.
We'll get them in the booth. Well, maybe not in the booth, but after the race. As
Gonna hop on with 20. We'll go with 30th. 30th and back, maybe a little bit forwards for your picture-in-picture.
number as we are about to cross the line, and it's off and away for SRA, and that's a good launch from Mercer. Griffith trying to follow behind Stallsworth, and Marquez will just stick in their position. Marquez going to go down on the inside, not going to be able to complete the move. We'll just have to slide right back in line as we go up these S's. No big contact yet. Kosovic going to go side by side here up through the S's. Very sketchy area. We'll have the inside line.
Oh, as we've got a huge crash at the start.
Oh,
we have a huge crash at the start.
That's the entire back half of the field there.
It looked like there was a Porsche that got knocked sideways, and all chaos ensued after that, as I can only imagine nobody saw anything in front of them. I don't even know who to pick up for a replay.
I am having one on the main screen right now, just bumping and bashing through turn one. Oh, this one car, I think that was car 11, got a little spun out, just caused a big wreck everywhere. Might not have been his cause, but that is the back half of the field.
And I wonder if they're going to be all clear in time. Thankfully, everybody is, as everybody's coming in at the toe of the boot now. Leaders. That was, unfortunately, I have seen that before in a race in a commentator perspective, but it was not Division 1. But I guess nobody's really safe from that at a wet Watkins Glen.
Well, I can officially say that we have gone bowling.
We definitely have gone bowling at the Glen tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
So,
big rest in peace to Matt Lehman, who is now down in 35th place.
Yeah, no race restarts here for the actual race. Leader Mercer will take off. Griffith follows behind Stallworth in P3, Marquez P4, as everyone is just kind of in line trying to survive. Car number 45 is off in the bus stop chicane. I think they tried to take the escape route and realized that it's not a valid escape route.
Possibly. That is Stasiv.
A couple cars poke their nose out. No one's going to take the move down on the inside this early. Most people probably waiting for that dry line to come into effect. Griffith's going to get a little bit offline there. A little sketchy, but say with Stallsworth and that dirty air actually caps the side of the wall there. That might be a little bit of side damage for him. Marquez is going to come up the inside of Stallsworth here, but he's on the wet line. Not a lot of grip out there. But Marquez will take that position. Stallsworth will hand it over in the bus stop. Good
It looks like Stasiv is trying to carefully drive themselves back to the pits to repair their damage. Interesting.
I feel like this is losing him more time than just towing back to the pits right now.
Possibly. I mean, he is providing me with a great... Oh, okay, he returned to the pits. I was going to say, he's giving me a great angle of the field there, but... It's Dan Good, Nick Sand going side by side here. Loic Normando trying to bring himself into the mix. The Lamborghini gets cleared off as everybody does a little bit of understeer. And Dan walks away.
Chilcutt's looking down on the inside of Basin. Basin's not going to have it. We'll take that defensive line. Chilcutt to the outside. We'll have to slide right back in. We're getting a little feisty here back in P11. Chilcutt trying to make up as many places as he can right now.
Oh, as we've got some spinners. Nate Specht. Specht. He helped correct me on that. Nate Specht. Throwing a yellow flag. Trying to get his McLaren up and going again.
Chilcutt still trying that something. Turn one might be their best place. O'Brien is backwards in the last turn. Not sure what happened to him there. Neville's going to dive down into the pits for his pit stop. Pit window's open. Chilcutt looks down to the inside of Basin. Basin's actually on the inside of Kostovic. Basin's going to have to slow down. Kostovic is on the outside. Contact between Kostovic and Chilcutt. Kostovic, a bystander, will just take the spin, and the other three drivers will just ride off into the sunset.
I think Kostovic did not see Chilcutt coming. I think he saw the other vehicle in his in his blind spot there and thought, okay, I've got one car, and then all of a sudden, you've got mail. A red Ferrari appears at the apex.
Gonna have to agree with you. Chilcutt looked for a dive on the bus stop, won't do it again. Another car off in the bus stop chicane. Chilcutt's gonna take a little bit of bumpiness there. Not gonna be able. We'll be able to live that. Poramba will not be able to live his spin in the bus stop. Stallworth has a stop go 30. It's all kicking off, and we're 5 minutes in.
Yeah, I was going to say 5 minutes into this race, only the top 28 drivers are not in the pits.
Got numbers. 20 cars were involved in the wreck at the start.
Can we get some Fs in the chat?
I think that might be an actual number. Not sure, but if that is exact cut in half of the field.
Insanity.
And Chilcutt's still trying to catch up the base, and we'll leave that battle for now. Menning and Majid are closing in on each other here. Menning all up on the back of Majid right now.
Little Lambo on Lambo action.
Love to see it. Good liveries. I can already tell they're both made by... Majid moves down to the inside. Menning's going to actually move on to the outside, and looks like team orders were in place there. Majid will just let Menning by. Have fun in that.
As Pierce and Nixon bring themselves into the pits for a little bit of an early stop.
Most people are going to be looking for an early stop here, especially after that lap 1 incident. But if you're in the front half of the field, I don't think you should be looking for that early stop.
I don't know, man. I think you may just be looking for the space. Get away from the spray.
I mean, that's true. Chilcutt looking down on the inside of bus stop, going to back out last second and compromise his line. Bray thought about it in the back there, not going to do it. We'll back out again. Nate Speck will come down to the bus stop chicane side by side here with Good. Good looks to be giving Speck the position, and Good looks to have some damage on his front end as well.
Oh yeah, you can see that Ferrari dancing around in the wet. He's definitely losing some of that front end stability. But a good job to make a clean move there at the bus stop.
Charlesworth will come out, still has a stop go 30.
Oh, speeding in the pit lane. That is a shame. That pit entry board is kind of blind here, and I'm sure with it being wet, it's even harder to hit that braking point.
Absolutely is. Sometimes you gotta be a little bit cautious. Stallsworth was not, so my automatic... I think I picked Stallworth for silver winner.
Dan Good came back up the inside on Nate at the toe of the boot. Is looking up the inside towards turn 8, but elects to back up behind him.
Good moves, good moves.
Nate gets a little bit loose, and they're going to continue to battle all the way up to the AWS corner. He's going to look around the outside, but definitely not enough room to make that one work. As that wall comes up very quickly on you on the outside.
Chilcutt, who was all over the back of Basin, now all of a sudden can't close up to the back of Basin, whether he just calmed down now. Actually, as I say that,
Basin gets all over that outside curb and disrupts the car.
Might be Chilcutt's chance to try overtake here and do the bus stop chicane. Has to predict Basin correctly if he will hold the inside. Basin's going to hold the inside here. Chilcutt's going to follow in that draft. Will Chilcutt take to the outside? He does. Basin will have the preferred line, though, and there's a little bit of contact between the two. Chilcutt's going to have to take the escape road and will collide with the barrier.
Wall. Oh, no.
And will return straight to pits.
Oh, no.
Have fun, Stewards. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one for the stewards to have a look at. I've got some opinions forming, but I'll save those for myself. A very unfortunate incident to happen 9 minutes into this race. But
Yeah.
I guess a non-stewardly comment is, I don't know why he elected to take the exit road there.
It didn't look like...
Just file in behind him.
It didn't look like a big enough touch together to cause a huge car disruption to say, I need to take this escape route now.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe in the cockpit it might be a little different in time, heat of the moment kind of thing.
Avoiding oversteer.
Avoiding oversteer. In the wet, maybe you're just a little bit cautious. So you're like,
Phase of the moons, you know, all that stuff. What kind of
Yeah.
crystals you had out.
Exactly. He had toe pads out instead of quartz, so.
Why do you know these things?
Those are the only two like crystallized rock things that I know. I don't know what they do, per se.
They rock.
They rock.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be here all season.
Get you. Check them out on Grid Report Podcast. You can get more dad jokes over there.
Thank you for the shameless plug.
Yeah, no problem. It's Matt Poremba trying to close to the back of Basin. So Basin sheds chill cut and automatically gets another 2 cars. 2 for the price of 1.
I do love me a good twofer, as Neville just keeps sniffing at the rear bumper of Mr. Sir here. Unsure if these drivers have pitted or not.
They have.
Ah.
They are actually leading the pitted drivers currently. So it would probably be in their best interest not to battle, but that's no fun. Battle is all we do here at SRA.
Yeah, and if there's one thing that Aston Martin loves to do, it's take up your mirrors. As he already dips to the outside as they look towards the bus stop here. They're going to go 2 wide in. Neville's going to have to file in behind. Did not grip up well enough on that right-hander.
That outside line is not where you want to be going into that bus stop chicane if you're side by side.
Yeah, you'd think being in your normal position, you know, you got your grip and this and that, but you don't have an apex to turn down to.
Nope. And with the inside line, you have so much speed going through that first turn that you pretty much just overtake the person beside you in one turn, so you can just take the apex of the next one as well. Pretty much a straight line. Speaking of straight lines, Marquez trying to get a little bit of straight line speed to overtake Griffith here. Griffith actually falls out of the draft of Mercer, and Mercer will be running off and away with this. Marquez, however, wants that position from Griffith.
Victor Diaz now closing up on Higgs, wants to put these Porsches to battle. Vic actually looks like he's got a little bit of front end
down
damage
on the inside
as well.
Of bus stop will pull out.
Jeez. A lot of people liking that move with not a lot of room to pull it off.
I can attest. I am a person that will do that. Not very good, but you know it happened. Griffith getting all out of sorts on that wet curb there. Opens the door perfectly for Marquez. Good save from him.
If there's one thing I remember from the coaching session on Thursday night, it was stay away from that curb.
Specifically that one. If there's any curb that you don't need to touch, it is that one.
Exactly. You fully avoid that curb, you're maybe losing a 10th. And in that corner, it's a relatively safe area to do it because you can just hold a inside line to the following left-hander and you've closed it off.
Marquez is starting to play some mind games with Griffiths, poking his nose down to the inside and pulling right back in. See if he can bait over braking. I mean, Griffiths doesn't look very happy right now with the car. He's actually kind of working out on some of these turns, having to overcorrect from time to time.
It looks like Stasov did not elect to return to the race either after returning to the pits, so we are currently down to 34 drivers.
Just want a visual on how bad the spray is. We're on board with Marquez right behind Griffith. This is his windshield right now. It is a little moist, a little damp. He's actually offline a little bit too.
Yeah, and no, the wipers don't go any faster. As Vic elects to jump into the pits instead of continuing that fight, figures, I'll see you later in the race.
Sometimes that's what you need to do.
Nate Specht closing up on Patrick Rust here, the leading Audi, although his teammate Brooker Quigg not too far behind him in P18. I mean, a little bit of luck from what happened, but the Audi boys will be happy with results if they stay like this tonight.
Luck is but a lady. Basin's off the track in the grass. Might open the door here for Porumba. Not going to be able to catch up enough speed there, but he will go deep. Can we see a switchback here from Matt? He's attempting to, trying to get all that grip on the dry line. Basin will be able to hold the outside here, but Matt coming up on the inside of Basin here should have the appropriate line. Who can break later? Both of them break roughly at the same time. Matt trying to hold that inside line perfectly, but the outside line here at this corner looks to be working pretty well. Basin will take that position back. Corrects his mistake.
Very well done going side by side through there, and I think Porumba just turned a little bit too much, trying to give extra space, and kind of shot himself in the foot, taking away his acceleration. As the picture-in-picture, Nate Specht goes down the inside on that same corner and makes it work.
Matt now gonna have to.
He's gonna kick me after this.
Well, still worth being a blue flag, but it's a pretty fast blue flag, might I add. So Stalwart don't want to be behind any of these drivers. Might actually attempt an overtake here at one point. And if he can overtake and stay, give a gap, or it won't affect him, he can have the position. But being in front of two cars battling, probably not, or behind two cars battling, probably not a good position for a guy who got taken out lap one.
It's a very tough position to be in.
Plus recovering from a stop-go 30.
Yep. Big drift there coming through the bus stop for Porumba.
Who looks a little bit rattled right now. Mr. Sir closing the gap on the Audi of Quig, literally pushing him up the hill, it seems like. This is
Eric
a
Neville trying to come through and take them both in one shot here, looking for any sort of an open lane.
Mr. Sir's going to try on the outside here. Quig has the preferred line into the bus stop here. Mr. Sir not going to take it. Neville's going to try on the outside. We'll be able to get it. Mr. Sir has to go to the grass. Neville promotes himself into that position from Mr. Sir, allowing Quig to have that position. And now Neville is all over the back of Quig.
Yeah, that looked a little bit odd. I wonder if car started to slide out from under Mr. Sir there and just had to escape to the grass, but well taken from Neville and on to the next fight.
Good heads up play. Quig did not pit yet, so ideally Neville and Mr. Sir wanted to get past Quig as fast as possible. That Audi power though, saying no, thank you. Audi in the wet is actually just nice all-around car as well. Neville tried up the inside there, not going to be able to get late enough on the brakes.
Brooker didn't even flinch.
Did not. He just took his line.
Yeah. I think that's like 90% of battling in D1 is just being able to not fall for the fake moves.
I am a victim of it. I will fall for fake moves. I'm not
Oh yeah. If I had a nickel for every time I fell for a fake move, I would have the nicest sim rig.
Neville looks like he's going to get a pretty good run on Quig. Quig's actually just going to move out of the way for now. Actually, no, he's going to hold the inside here, trying to fend it off. He will fend off Neville here.
Well played from the Audi.
Neville has just got the slot right back in line. I am unsure why they're still using that outside curb. I feel like that's a little wet there. Neville's offline, actually, in the puddles.
That's going to get slippery.
Might invite Mr. Sir back in here to the fight. Neville is closing the gap back up the Brooker, trying to do anything here. Doesn't look like we'll get it here in the bus stop, though.
The longer Brooker stays ahead in this battle, the better chance Mr. Sir has rejoining them. As Basden throws a yellow flag here.
Right
going
here. Self-inflicted. Tried to drifter.
Oh no.
Didn't quite get it. That's a lot of positions lost.
Mr. Sir is now right on the back of this battle.
Battle in your picture-in-picture window. Nixon trying to get P22 here.
As Neville looks up the inside and gets Brooker. Brooker gets a poor exit. It's going to be a battle of the braking zones. Brooker looks like he dipped out early. And Mr. Sir is going to make it to the apex first.
We'll have that.
From out of the battle and missing it at the bus stop to ahead of the guy who was ahead of it all.
Now you
That's
have one
keeping your head
problem.
down,
Now you have to overtake Neville.
which I think Neville being in front may be better for Mr. Sir. It looked
Good
like
and
Neville
Russ.
genuinely had a bit more pace.
Good and Russ
As
are
we've
side
got
by
another
side.
battle.
Going into 2 and 3 right now. Russ looks to be given that position. Russ is all the way out there on the wet line. Not a good place to be. We'll give the position the good. We'll just run away with that one. Got battles happening a little bit everywhere.
Oh yeah. The amount of action that's gone on, there's still 40 minutes left of this.
Yeah, this is absolutely insane. Everyone still needs to
As
make their pits as well.
Bray and Neville now wheel to wheel going through turns 2 and 3. Bray desperately trying to avoid the walls. Mr. Sir sliding right into his trunk. I missed it as I looked away, but I think Bray came out of the pits.
He did. He did. Neville will get Bray, though. Mr. Sir.
Everybody does a hop, skip, and a jump over the curbs. Mr.
Ooh,
Sir
what a
looks up the
switchback.
inside. Oh, what a move. What an attempt, and what a great job to keep that out of contact from those two drivers.
I think Mr. Sir had to back out a little bit there.
Oh,
No,
definitely.
we're not
I think he
trusting
saw the
Bray.
opportunity, went for it, and said, nah, that's going to be a crash. I need to breathe.
It
It's
would
Mr.
have
Sir.
been an outstanding move, though.
Yeah, absolute outstanding move. Jeremy Clarkson would approve.
Absolutely. As I'm glad to report that first place has not ran away from anything yet.
No, Mercer's pace been relatively consistent, and it wasn't, I don't know, it hasn't been faster. It's just those little tenths and differences that build up over time.
It does help that P2 and P3 are pretty much fighting each other at this point.
Essentially, and honestly, if I was Griffith and Marquez keeps closing up on the back of me like this, I would let him go, because you've got a huge gap to Plaza, and that'll allow you to relax a little bit and run your race. But at the same time, spray. So, I don't know.
You could also try to follow Marquez all the way through and try to overtake Mercer double time, just to mode him to P3 right off the bat. Harder one to do, but
Yeah, it's tactical, and these drivers still got a lot of race left, and I don't know. That's the interesting part about all of this is there seems to be metas, but there's also like there's the little plays you have to make that makes your race strategy what it is. Things like this.
we still have pit stops to go through for the top 14 plus Quig, the 18 current. So all still to play for here. You can definitely gain a second on someone in the pits based on strategy, or if you're just better at the jump. Focused on your picture-in-picture, that Mr. Sir battle still heating up. Oh, you switched away from it. My bad. I lied.
Yeah, the gap got pretty big there for a little bit and closed right back up. So took a look over to Nixon and Snell Train here battling it out for 22nd. One of the only other close gaps besides Pierce, O'Brien, Quig, Sir, Bray, Neville, and Marquez Griffith.
Because doesn't seem to be finding a lot of pace on Griffith. Strange thing. Going through the bus stop chicane, Griffith seems to be absolutely on point compared to Marquez. Griffith also learned his lesson not to touch that exit curb there.
Mr. Sir getting a great run out of the last two corners here. Getting right up on the back of Bray.
Gonna go for the move though.
Gonna hop on board and experience the spray.
Yeah, that is nasty, to say the least. Should be flat out through the yeses, try to get the best line, but if you hit some of those outer lines, you are in for a treat, might I say. He's right on the back of Bray, just trying to find any way around him. Not able to do it. Bray doing a good job placing his car defensively. Marquez is closest to Griffiths he's ever been at this point, coming onto the front stretch. Griffiths going to have a terrible exit onto the front stretch. Marquez is going to look up the inside. We'll have to slip right back into the draft and pokes right back out on Griffith, who's later on the brakes here. Griffith will be later. Marquez not going to be able to fight. Griffith holds that position, and we have a yellow flag on Martin. I might have just gone off track.
Mr. Soar almost sold Bray on a dummy into turn 7, but wasn't able to manage the switchback as he came through the corner.
At this point, Mr. Sir, I feel, is being held up. Need to find a way by, as we have chaos here. O'Brien is actually going to get past Quig.
That's not chaos, that's a conga line.
As Mason's going to look on the inside of Quig here. Not going to be able to do it. We'll just stuff right back in line. This is a pretty unrealistic place to overtake, but who says you can't do it? O'Brien trying to close the gap to Pierce. Basin trying to close the gap to Quig. Quig's going to go down on the inside and try to defend from Basin. Looks like he will successfully do that. We'll hold the speed and the inside line, so that will be his position to keep.
They almost cross up on each other coming into turn 3 here.
Side by side 2 to 3. Not gonna do it. Basin's faster, trying to find a way around him. He's actually literally on the bumper of Quig.
What is going on here?
Try to find a way up the inside here at bus stop. That all the engines doing it. There's a battle in front as well. O'Brien's trying to do it. Switchback for Pierce. Pierce is going to be able to hold that inside line. They will just file straight back in line. O'Brien not going to do it. There's contact in the back in your picture window.
Zach Martin and Gomer Wilson come together in turn 5? Just after the bus stop chicane. The double right-hander.
I think that would be the heel of the boot.
That was the heel of the boot. Sorry, a little further down the racetrack there. It's a very tough angle to try and gauge where we were there. But,
all the corners look the same. Basin's actually going to try to come back here on Quig. Not going to do it. O'Brien is all over the bumper. We'll just stay in line. Try to find another way around. Battles are getting a little spicy here. Quig has
everybody not backing out at their opportunity to make a position.
Quig's still yet to pit. This is just losing him time being in this battle right now.
Completely agree. This is a I need to pit now situation. And I wonder if we'll see him. We won't see him come in.
You have to keep all 4 tires to the right of that red line or yellow line. Basin's going to try yet again, just trying to gain all the slipstream. Pops out a little too early. Going to pop out just early again. Not able to have enough speed on Quig. That all the engine's proving. Quig goes deep. Basin will take full advantage of that. Go straight up the inside and say bye-bye to Quig.
Yeah, that was just a mistake bound to happen. I mean, you saw him do it on the previous lap. Just set yourself up for a good exit at a turn 1, and you just might get it on this lap too.
I don't think Quig is going to end up catching Basin here. As Basin's just going to take that bus stop chicane pretty cleanly. Quig not going to be able to do it so much. Will fall off. Have to look back. I wonder if his tires are a little overinflated right now. He seems to be a bit off the pace.
It's got to be something along those lines, but I wonder why he's not driving in the water then on the straights. I mean, it does cool him down.
I mean, they're not extremely long straights, I'll say that. So most you get is a dip in and a dip out. Sand closing the door to the police. Going to be right on the bumper here soon, but that Mercedes looking pretty nice and stable in the wet. And Cran behind, looking at Higgs here. Porsche on Porsche action. Not going to be able to get the move done into that turn, but they are right on the bumper of each other, and these small little battles are just popping up in the backfield.
Yeah, as these some drivers start to lose the pace that they had or start to overwork their tires a little bit,
Grant's
it
going to look
begins
down
to
on the
form.
inside of Higgs here, coming into the heel of the boot. Can Cran get enough speed and braking power here on the inside? Not going to do it. Higgs is going to close that door real quick. Cran going to have to file right back in line. This is not what Mercer wants to see, because Mercer is the leader right now and is currently going to be held up from these two battling. And Cran's going to let him by. Griffith and Marquez are really not far behind at all. Huge implications already. Will the blue flag move out of the way? Doesn't look like Higgs wants to. We'll just stick right there. Wonder if Higgs thinks he's a little bit faster than Mercer right now.
Could possibly.
He's holding a gap right now. Cran's gonna let Griffith by finally. Now it gives the opportunity for Griffith to catch up to Mercer while he's stuck behind a blue flag right now. Getting spicy.
Definitely is, as O'Brien's right back on the tail of Pierce again. He was on his bumper coming into the bus stop, almost had a move lined up, and coming into Sector 3 in the last two corners here, he's right on him again. So we just might see another attempt at a move this lap.
Mercer's set free. Higgs will let Griffith by. And Marquez by. Marquez going to get a little bit of a compromised line there, but we'll be able to still hold the gap to Griffith. Luckily for Mercer, nothing was too much lost in that. Go back to racing as is. Olstovich just trying to close the gap the week. I feel like we haven't heard of the name of Normando a lot this season yet.
We have not. He's been kind of quiet. Not having any bad events in his races by any means, but definitely not groundbreaking.
Kostovich is looking to put his name in the books for an overtake here. Looking down the inside bus stop. Actually going to side against it, and we'll just slip in right behind. A lot of fake moves here at the bus stop chicane for a lot of people. Trying to get in the heads. Normandy taking that outside curve. So is Kostovich. I guess he can do that in the Ferrari, or the Lambo, a little bit in the Ferrari.
Well, with the fake moves, I guess, like we saw with Mr. Sir, it just takes an unforced error, and all of a sudden it's free real estate.
That's true, that's true. O'Brien's closing the gap pretty well there.
Yeah, he's just begging for the position. It, just after the bus stop, it showed that he threw a yellow flag, but I wasn't, I was watching your screen instead of mine. Wonder if he just got the car loose, because he was still right there.
Goosey goosey. For the first time in a while, 1, 2, and 3 are now all within a second and a half of each other at this point. Griffith has caught up to Mercer by some way, some magic. And Kostovich is literally on the bumper of Normandy.
All starts to heat up.
He looks down on the inside. Kostovich gonna have to pull right back in line. Not enough speed to carry him through the straight. We'll just have to wait another lap. Going all the way out there again. I really don't feel like that's helping going onto that curb. Back up to the bus stop chicane. Kostovich needs to look for a move pretty much anywhere if he thinks he's faster here.
Marquez is coming into the pits.
Ooh.
First of the top 3.
Gonna decide against the three-way battle. Let Griffith try to catch up. We have battles a little bit everywhere, but they've calmed down for the most part. Brian and Pierce seems to be our closest battle, as I lie a little bit. Snell Train going to be closing up on the back of Quake here. Quake is not having a fun race.
No, it doesn't appear so. As Marquez is going to come out all the way down in
P11.
P11, that is right.
As within the people at pit, so he has some overtaking to do as
Paremba
he's
spins it
spinning.
around. Oh no.
Oh, wow.
We need to see a replay of that.
Yes, we hope you got it. I got it.
We both got it.
Both got it.
If anybody who works on race control is watching this, can you guys get a way to cancel replays?
That'd be great.
That would be great.
We'll see. Catches a little too much grass there on the outside.
That's a shame, but just a testament to how disrupting just touching a little bit of grass can be.
That hood all popped out. Neville. Now all over the back of Dromo. Actually going to go up the inside of Dromo. We'll be able to hold that line. Dromo's on the outside. He has the wet line there. He won't get enough grip. Neville has that position. And behind them is Bray and Mr. Sir hunting down. Dromo has a lot of damage, it seems like, on his front end. So Bray sees this as easy pickings. Trying to get into that draft. Take away any drag that he actually has. Mr. Sir wants to get all the way past Bray, but doesn't seem to be able to. Maybe the Dromo damage, maybe just what he needs. Well, Matt is going to weigh. We'll drop positions. Actually, is going to hold off Bray. We'll just move out of the way for Mr. Sir and Bray. Dromo is still there. Bray all over the back of Dromo coming here onto the front stretch. Mr. Sir is also right there. Bumper to bumper to bumper right now. Neville is just pulling away from this train right now. Bray up the inside of Dromo on the front stretch into turn one. Will be laying off on the brakes. Mr. Sir's going to try to follow him through here. Dromo will just let that one happen. Mr. Sir not getting a lot of traction on the exit, but still will follow through and have that position from Dromo.
Yeah, you open the door. I'm coming through too, buddy. There's lots of opportunity. As it looks like O'Brien made the move at turn one and lost it on the curbs. Wasn't able to hold on. As now he's got Bison right in his trunk, looking to jump in between these two cars, saying, "You've had enough opportunities to make that move. It's my turn."
Basin is not afraid to go side by side into the bus stop chicane either. So let's see if he decides to elect to go up the inside. We'll just decide to stay straight in line. Try next time.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of knowing your crowd. O'Brien's a very confident driver, and I don't think that's somebody you want to dive up the inside on.
Although that is your preferred line for the bus stop, so maybe you just want that.
Who knows? Find out next week.
We will have to watch our leaders for pit to see where Marquez comes out in relation to them. He's currently 39.4 seconds away from Mercer right now on track. He's fighting through traffic, which probably isn't the best.
And that's currently inside the lost time. From line to line, the time in pit for Marquez's stop with 8 seconds stopped is 40 seconds.
Gonna be right there.
Yeah, well, that is line to line, so then that's also coming down towards turn one, around the corner, coming out. So
he may just have the jump on him. We will have to see, let you know when that pit happens if it doesn't show up on your screen. Mr. Sir still trying to close up to the back of Bray, not going to be able to do it this lap. We'll have to find another way. Bray closing up to the back of Neville. Maybe it was just Mr. Sir's plan just to follow Bray through.
could be. I mean, Bray has been wrecking havoc these last few laps here.
Also closing the gap to Mercer. 0.9 is the gap currently. If they start getting the battle, that'll spell great news for Marquez.
as O'Brien now looks to go around the outside into the bus stop. It's going to be fully alongside as they get there, but still not enough alongside to make the move done. And that's going to open the door up as everybody goes for a
3 wide.
drift. And around the outside, still wheel to wheel, doesn't have the grip to stay alongside, it's going to foul back in. O'Brien manages to end up at the front of this train, but Bryson's going to luck out and get a position as he comes into contact with the car behind him. And ends up losing 2 positions.
Looks like.
Gonna try and hopefully get a better angle on that contact there.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
just
think,
right.
I
Oh.
don't think Basin was expecting him to try to come back and take that up on the inside.
No, and that's a very hard impact into the wall. I'm surprised that car is still driving straight.
Motto of this race so far is good luck, stewards.
Yep, I completely agree.
Have fun, Josh.
I'm not a steward.
Oh, yeah, you're manager.
I just
Okay.
race here.
My bad. You get my people mixed up, okay?
That's okay.
Mr. Sir, trying to get a little bit mixed up with Bray here. Still not doing it. Just following behind. We have just under 20 minutes left in the race as a big train has now formed from Quigg to Nordstrom to Nixon, the Snell train to Normandy to Kostovich. Basin will go into the pits to repair that mega damage that he got.
Yeah, this train behind Quigg's actually been going on for a little bit now. It was bigger and even tighter, but as people have cycled into and out of the pits, and some people have made it past Quigg, it started to spread out a little bit.
That's usually what you see here in these races. Once we tick over the pit window and everyone has pit, we'll see these battles come back to life a little bit.
For the last 2 minutes.
Yes. Mr. Sir trying to get past Bray. Neville trying to leave him in the dust. Neville's actually going to be able to catch Rust here shortly as Mr. Sir goes deep there at the toe. We'll have to put the burners back on just to catch up to Bray again.
Yeah, gonna open the DRS coming down that straight to make up the gap. As Loic is currently involved in a fight here coming down towards the toe. Not going to be able to stick it up the inside on Snell Train, but sees the urgency.
Just ahead of this fight, Nordstrom's going to try to come down on the inside of Quigg here into the heel. Not going to be able to be laying off on the brakes. That will be just Quigg's position.
Oh, as Loic goes into the back, spins around Snell Train, and Kostovich just able to slow up enough to avoid making contact. Very stylish 360 there from Normando to get himself facing the right way. And that battle fizzles out pretty quickly.
Nordstrom not able to hold it together there through the last part of the track. Trying just anything to get past Quigg. He's faster in pretty much every aspect of the track except for the straights. Neville now right on the back of Rust, you can see in your picture window. Actually will go down to the inside of the bus stop chicane. We'll have that position side by side they go. Neville takes that easily.
Yeah, and I talked earlier about the Audi boys being happy with today's results, but the way these last few minutes have been going, it does not seem to be the case, as Bray and Mr. Sir are continuing this fight as they're both just trying to get past the Audi of Patrick Rust, but keep getting entangled with each other.
Griffith has pit. Where in relation to Marquez he comes out will give us a good hint on where Mercer will come out when he pits. Oh, Nordstrom all over that curb. Not going to do him well for catching up to Quigg there. And Nixon's actually closing the door on him as well. Griffith going to the stop. Will just be a splash and go. Will Marquez just entering the back straight. Can he have enough speed to catch him? Going down in the turn one, exiting the pits. Marquez will not get the jump on Griffith.
2.3 seconds back.
As pretty big gap. I actually expected it to be pretty close.
Yeah, expected that to be much closer to 1 second.
Quig and Nordstrom were side by side for a second. Quig will just take that position, defend it. Nixon's now all over the back of Nordstrom here.
Bray goes up the inside of Rust at turn 3. With a very slick move. It's Mr. Cernow trying to file his way past. Not trying to stay behind for longer than he needs to. Might try and force the issue here into the bus stop, but he's going to file back in.
As Nixon's going to look to try to get the jump on Nordstrom here on that terrible exit. Not going to be able to do it out of turn 1 through turn 2 and 3. That dirty air definitely doesn't feel nice right now. Nixon all over the back of Nordstrom here. Will he be able to find enough speed to get up beside Nordstrom and force a move in the bus stop? It looks like that gap is closing between all three cars. All three of them will just stay right in line. No one poking their nose out just yet. Nordstrom's going to catch a little bit of grass. Nixon reacts and actually spins off. Will keep it out of the wall, but loses the position to Kostovich.
Did the old Doc Hudson turn right to go left, but it definitely did not work there.
Mercer now in the pits as well. In relation of Griffith, he comes out in. Looks have that gap covered. Good, all set. 2.7 seconds. That's a massive in-lap for Mercer.
Huge.
Mr. Sir in your picture-in-picture window. Coming up the inside finally.
Yeah, it looks like he may have had a little bit of a give on that one.
Quig will let Kostovich by that turn. He had the inside line there. Nate Speck tumbling down the order a little bit.
Yeah, as he comes out of the pit lane. Finds himself in 17th place and the toe of Peter O'Brien.
We still do have 11 minutes of pit time left, so people can still go, but I guess they're about to catch that nice big train of blue flags in front of them.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance of pushing it to the very end and like getting up to, like you're pointing out, getting up to those blue flags and slowing down your lap times while you got to make overtakes.
Sand trying to find a way past Dupuis, who has front end damage on that Mercedes.
What a tough race to start off in D1.
It's very rough. Half of the field pretty much gone right off the bat. We started this race with 40 drivers. We're now down to 33.
Wow. That's a lot of drop off.
That's a lot of drop off for D1. Nick Sand trying to find a way through Dupuis through this bus stop chicane. Not able to find it at all. We'll just have to slot back in line. Kostovich in your picture-in-picture window. Right up on the back.
Right up on the back of Nordstrom. Gonna peek in the mirrors and slide right back in behind.
Wilson will be into the pits for his pit stop. We only have 3 people who have yet to pit. Or, I lied. Quig has yet to pit. Grimo has yet to pit. Russ has yet to pit. Plaza, Moni, Majid, Lau, Martin, and Good still yet to pit.
If I'm Quig, I'm coming in now. Everybody around me has pitted. You're only losing like an exponential number of positions because you're falling literal position and then also still have to go in and pit and lose time. So I would just get in, cool those tires off a little bit, come back out, just head down for the last 10 minutes of the race, 11 minutes of the race.
Maybe the strat here is just to try to slow down everyone. Right?
I mean, maybe, but it's not working.
Yeah. Nixon is proving that, coming up on the back of Quig pretty rapidly. Not going to be able to get a move done into the bus stop chicane, but we'll be able to stay on the back of him. All these cars appear to be extremely slidey through the bus stop.
Yeah, everybody putting as much load as they possibly can through those tires, that's for sure.
The gap between Mercer and Griffith grows to 2.2 seconds now. Marquez has dropped back to 2.7 behind Griffith. Nixon, right on the bumper of Quigg, actually will end up going deep and losing a ton of time there into the toe. I'm back in line. And good into the pits for his pit stop. Just over 10 minutes left in the race. If you want to get your moves done, now's the time to do them. For Bray, that's making a move on Neville here in the next few laps. Trying to close that gap, but Neville just seems to have a way with these exits. Is over a second. Kostovic on Nordstrom here. Very close battle as well as the Nick Sands and Louise battle. And Good gonna get out in front of Quigg after his pit stop. Nixon now looking to take advantage of Quigg having to slow down, trying to come along the outside of the straight. Will do it. Does he have enough speed to actually hold this and be able to have the preferred line through the bus stop? Doesn't look like it. Quigg will actually just let him go side by side through the bus stop chicane. We actually go. Nixon will take that position. Quigg will just have to sit there and watch him. I think that's the first overtake from the outside we have successful through the bus stop.
First time for everything.
Now we know it's possible, so we can go recreate it in our race tomorrow, right, Josh?
Nope. I was already nervous for tomorrow, and then I saw the beginning of this race, and now I'm even more nervous.
We'll be fine. Marquez, disastrous stop for him, is actually seeing him behind Plaza now. It does appear to be a little faster, closing up on the back of Plaza. Will Plaza give him the position? Doesn't look like it. Marquez will take to the outside line. Plaza will hold that inside line. Marquez is going to give that position away. Not going to fend for it anymore, but we'll just stay on the back of Plaza, out of the bus stop chicane. That battle goes on. O'Brien and Dromo are now starting to get into it a little bit. Coming down to the bus stop chicane. Dromo trying to hold the outside, or Dromo trying to hold the inside here. O'Brien going to go along the outside, try to overpower. Dromo has all that drag on the front end. Can he complete the move? O'Brien gets the move done. Plaza spun off. We have a yellow coming down to the toe. What happened?
Wonder if it's contact under braking or just going a little deep, and it looks like it's a mix of both, but deep from the driver behind.
Yeah, a little tap will do you here in the wet. Unfortunately, 5 minutes till pit window closes. Nate Speck closing the gap now to Dromo. Majid is yellowed. Oh, because he's going to the pits. I got excited. He will do his pit stop. Marquez will actually overtake Plaza and Martin after that collision. Nate Specht trying to catch up to Dromo any way possible. 6.5 minutes left. Dromo actually slides into the wall out of the turn. Nate Specht will try to take his turn on the inside here. We'll be able to put the move down. Dromo trying to hold his line because Matt's behind him trying to take it. Dromo's actually going to go into the pits. We'll hold that inside line and get all that damage repaired with just 6 minutes left. Unfortunate sequence of events for Dromo. Be off into the pits. Now Now we have a train break trying to come up the inside. Majid does a switchback, trying to go to the outside, actually taking the grass a little bit. Very well from Bray to hold that car together. Now Majid is a roadblock for Bray, which spells pretty good for Mr. Sir. Mr. Sir trying to come back on Bray now. Not going to be able to do it. Bray might look to hold the inside around that turn, but not going to be able to do it as Majid closes the door. Mr. Sir looking up the inside of Bray. We'll just slot right back in line. And it's all starting to get a little spicy here at the end.
Yeah, a little bit, except for everybody else. Other than the few drivers that are directly inside of each other's trunks, most people have spread out throughout the field.
Majid's going to try to hold the defensive line here. Bray doesn't look to have enough speed to come up on the inside. We'll just slip back in line for the heel. Mr. Sir waiting for anything to go down between these two. Bray might look up on the inside here. Majid goes and holds the defensive line. Majid's going to hold it. Bray's trying along the outside. Mr. Sir might take advantage of this, trying to come up on the inside. Not going to be able to do it. We'll slide right back in line. Bray now looking down on the inside. Majid will fake it and go right back in line, and will hold position for the time being. Majid doing a masterclass of defending right now. Bray all over the back. Mr. Sir all over the back of Bray. Coming down the turn one, who has the better exit? Majid goes down to the inside to fend off Mr. Sir. All of the rest of the line follows him. Bray will come out to the outside. Majid's going to take defensive line. Mr. Sir's going to try to follow one of them through. Bray on the outside, not going to be able to do the move. Mr. Sir's coming down on the inside of Bray, trying to hold that for turn two. We'll be able to get that move done in turn two. Now going through turn three, there's a little bit of door bashing there. Bray has the inside here for turn three. Mr. Sir drifting the car on the inside. Now he has the inside for turn four. Won't be able to get the move done. We'll just slide him behind Bray. Majid walks away scot-free.
That is so tough through that area. I mean, it's hard enough to hold traction in these conditions, and those guys are half on the dry line, half on the wet line, and fighting each other.
Is absolutely absurd. Mr. Sir still closing on the back of Bray. 3 minutes 45 seconds left in the race. 1 minute left for the pit stops. Whoever hasn't pit needs to pit right now, or else you're probably going to get a nice 130-second penalty. Menning will come into the pits. Patrick Russ will be our last person to pit, and he is making his way around track. Get a moment to catch my breath.
Just looking over our team series chat here in the Discord and seeing the reactions from some of the Division 1 drivers who unfortunately got caught up in that mess at the beginning, and it was a whole bunch of I saw nothing and then I saw car.
That sums up this race immensely, as Bray is now over the back again of Majid. Bray is obviously faster than Majid. Majid's doing a great job of defending. Bray's going to have a terrible exit here. Mr. Sir is going to come up along the inside here, down the straight. The toe is for Bray right now. Mr. Sir does have the nose in front. Who can outbrake one another? Mr. Sir going down. There's contact between the two. Mr. Sir is still able to hold the inside. Bray's going to have to take that outside and go through. Mr. Sir will have that position. Pierce gets a drive through in P14. Ooh, sorry.
Yeah, that's likely for track limits, which is very interesting. Taking a track limits penalty in the wet here. But I mean, that bus stop chicane can get a little bit spicy on you. We heard the pit window is now closed. That means we're in the final 2.5 minutes, coming up on the last 2 minutes of this race.
Oh, and Bray catches a little too much grass out of the bus stop chicane. Will end up spinning and not be able to make any revenge on Mr. Sir. Luckily keeps it out of the wall. He's able to get going, but O'Brien now closing up to the back of Bray.
And I feel like that may be the battle for the final lap of the race here.
Might be Kosovic in the background, trying to get Nordstrom in your picture-in-picture window. We're trying to close the gap to Majid. We'll keep an eye on that battle, as we're likely going to start the last lap here.
Yeah, Mercer just about to cross the line, so he'll be starting the last lap of the race.
Start the last lap, but we're going to stay on for this battle. O'Brien not going to be able to get enough speed out of the way to catch up the break, but this train is still booming right now, and they expect gonna have to try to find a way past Lau. Lau's gonna have to try to find a way past O'Brien. Everyone's gonna need to get a little hectic here if they want positions.
Kostovich fighting to try and get past Nordstrom here. He's been working on him for the last couple laps, staying within 2/10 of that Porsche.
Thumbs up his race for the most part. Side by side down the backstretch we go, but it doesn't look like anything's going to come from that. Everyone just single file, might not want to get too hairy. Maybe they've had enough action since the start of the race.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to go back and watch that. I wonder if anybody made it through that mess without getting caught up in it. That'd be very on edge for the rest of the race.
I'd say very impressive if they did.
It's Nordstrom now also coming right up on the back of Martin here. Looks like they've also got a blue flag in the mix, who's just trying to claim some space on the road.
Mercer rounding out the final corners while that battle's going on. Trying to make any last-ditch attempt move. Mercer's didn't have to make a move once this race, except out of turn 1. We'll come home 5 seconds clear of P2, and we'll take the win for round 3 here at Watkins Glen. And Griffith comes in taking P2, but winning the silver championship. Mr. Sir all over the back of Majid. Marquez will take P3 for that podium spot. Mr. Sir will have to pull off something very spicy here in the last turn to even get that position. Doesn't look to happen. We'll just settle in for P8. Majid will take P7. Plaza P5. Neville
Martin
P6.
losing the position to Nordstrom in turn 8 there. And now Kostovich looks to the inside. Just some contact at the Amazon corner there, as they all come down towards the penultimate corner, and that's going to be the way that those three finish out.
Have some very spicy battles on track, to say the least. Congratulations to Mercer and Griffith for taking home their divisional wins. Drivers are just crossing the line. Let's see if we can get some interviews with them. Damiani.
Yeah, let's see if we can work some
deal.
magic here. Find some trade deals. I know a guy who's an expert on interviews after races.
Oh, yeah?
Let me call him in.
Who's that?
What are you, like, too young to catch the reference or something?
Yeah, I am.
Pawn Stars.
Yep, I'm way too young.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about, but don't get the reference.
Rick Harrison knows a guy who's an expert on everything. He's gonna call him in to have a look and let you know what the value of it. Get you some interviews.
I'll give you. Wait, after a rough race, we'll come home. Be the last driver across the line in style. Good race from everyone, might I add. Aside from turn 1, that was a little hectic, but we moved past it.
I mean, things happen. Like, that could have been, we obviously didn't look back at it and analyze it, but that could have been something as simple as trading paint, turning into a car going sideways, and then, like, with all that spray, you can't see anything in front of you, so it's very tough to react to something like that. That very quickly swallows the field.
We look for Mercer.
Yeah, there's nobody at the moment.
Oh, we will just have to fill some time.
Yeah.
I mean, thoughts on the race? I know you're a little scared now.
I mean, honestly, like, I know I should prepare more for dry line racing, but other than that, it's gonna be as scary as I thought it was gonna be. Looks like we've got Mercer here.
Feel free to drag him in.
Hello, Mr. Jeremy Mercer.
Hello.
Round 3 race winner, Watkins Glen. How you feeling?
Really good. I was really glad I got the qualified in because that's really what made the race a lot safer.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw your rear view mirror after turn at all.
No, I was in the chat with some people and they got through that were towards the front, but yeah, I don't know.
Coming into this race, you knew it was a wet Watkins Glen. Does that kind of change anything in your preparations, or is it business as usual?
Well, the tune ends up being a little bit different. The way I drive is mostly similar. But overall, I've usually had pace in the wet, so I was looking forward to it.
And we saw, I believe Marquez pitted early, tried to undercut both you and Griffith. Do you have any thought of maybe I should go in and follow him just to kind of cover off, or were you pretty confident in the pace and the clear air that you had?
I actually asked the people I was in a voice chat with to see if he was in traffic, and they said he was, so I did not pit. I felt pretty safe to that because I guess the biggest thing with trying to stay out in front is to avoid traffic as much as possible.
Mhm.
So,
Well, you did it great, and you come home with the win, not only for the overall win, but also your gold division win. So, congrats to you. Have fun celebrating, and get ready for Imola next week.
thanks.
Have a good one. What a nice guy. I forgot.
Good
to make,
lad.
I forgot to make a mudslide there for Imola. I'll get in the next one. We'll be fine.
We also have Michael Griffith here.
Okay, we can pull him up.
Our silver winner, Michael Griffith. Welcome to the booth.
What's up, guys? Thank you.
How you feeling after P2 of the race? Almost had P1 if you ended up closing the gap just a little bit. Felt like you had the pace in you, but tell us about it.
I'm sweaty. It's real hard to keep up with these guys in gold, so I'm just happy to take the top of silver.
It looked like you just kind of fell into your groove and ran with it the whole race. Did it? I mean, you say you're sweaty, but did it seem like that, or did it always feel like the pressure was on?
I felt the pressure the whole time because I think it was Marquez who was right behind me almost the entire time until he pitted. So I knew I had pressure behind me, so I couldn't let up. So it was definitely not easy to keep that pace.
Any tips for everybody who's got a race tomorrow?
Qualifying is important when it's wet because you saw what happened at the back of D1. So I'm glad that I got away from it.
Wise words. Well, congratulations on the silver win. Try to keep it up. We have Imola next week. As long as you're not driving through mudslides there, you should be all set.
Yeah, looking forward to it, and hopefully you're going to be doing the coaching on Thursday night. So
We'll have fun with that.
Heck yeah.
Michael Griffith. Do we have one more, or
Would be our
Got it.
P3.
if we want? Yeah, Marquez if we want. If he's there. If not, we can just. I don't think I see him.
He is not available for an interview.
That's okay. We'll get him next time, you know.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
And as I am trying to pull here. Yes, I just wanted to first off thank all of our sponsors as I try to find a nice readout for it. Maybe not. Guess not. I got it. All right, here we go. A huge thank to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors here at supporting SRA, as well as from support from Documentize, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documentize.com to learn more today. We also want to thank a support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favorite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you from all of our affiliates, Track Racer, and experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRA SRATE at checkout and to support us. That's SRATE. And Orientario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a full, customizable, and enhanced HUD to change the way of your driving experience in ACC. And of course, our favorite sponsors, at least me personally, Go Setups, premium esports setups for everyone. Use our affiliate link in our Discord, take your drive to the next level. And speaking of our Discord, if you enjoyed everything here today, you actually want to sign up for the fun, go to simracingalliance.com, sign up there, join the Discord. We're all fun, get the chatting. We like to have a good time, respect everyone. Good, clean racing. Any closing statements, Damiani?
That was awesome. I did not expect that lap 1. And yeah, don't forget to tune in next week.
Next week is Imola. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow night for D2 here on the Twitch channel at Watkins Glen Wet, same as today. And D3 will be on our YouTube channel if you want to check that out as well. Signing off from SRA round 3 from Watkins Glen. I'm Taylor. That's Josh Damiani. Good night, everyone.
See ya.